Hello, everybody. Most everyone, one time or another, has attempted to or has completed the build of a model car. Most have worked on these cars when they were younger, and still some to this day continue this build. Today I'll be showing you the tools for a build, the prep for the build, and one of my favorites, finished product. So the tools for the build. So obviously, some things are important are different paints. Different paints. Like this one is a silver. This one is a golden yellow. And this is probably one of the most important paints you'll need in your collection. Thinner. Thinner takes off all the other paints. A couple other little tools here. A good, sharp X-Acto knife. So when you get parts from a new build, like this, you're going to need this. Trust me. A good plastic cement glue. Sandpaper. Sandpaper is probably one of the most important things you're going to need. If you want to get on the shell of the body, like this one for instance, is a 53 Corvette. A nice fine sandpaper, high grit. Like this one is a 320 grit for the shell. The shell is probably the most important part of the car. So the better the sand, the better looking car you're going to have. Different brushes. Different size brushes here to get inside these parts. These little parts here. If you got a big brush, like for instance this brush right here is not going to paint these little parts here. Nice small brush will work out great. Primer. A good primer will work out great for you. You want to prime every part before you paint, so the paint has something great to grip to. Many different paints out there. Some cars look better with a flat look, and some look better glossy. Like for instance, this one I'm building right here. It's all primed. Dodge Daytona. I'm not sure. I'm thinking like a flat blue, flat black. Not really sure yet. But this is just one of my personal favorites. Fusion for plastics. Make sure it says for plastics on the paint. I've used many different other paints and it doesn't say for plastics. Doesn't look as good as this one here. Dennis Hartman from eHow.com says building cars is a popular hobby, ranging from plastic model kits for the beginners to custom miniature replicas with craftsmen with dedicated years of experience. So when you go to find your model, you want to look at different skill levels. For instance, the 53 Corvette I'm working on, or starting to, skill level 2. Skill level 2, don't let the skill level 2 underestimate you. There's some parts in this car, and I'll show them to you. So when you get your car, all these different parts here, all spread out, all numbered, you want to spread them out. See what you have. See what paint you want. See what color you want. This is your car. You can paint it whichever way you want. Once you have all the parts spread out and decided what color to paint the shell. The shell, like I said, is the most important part of the car. For instance, this one here, it came white. I think we're going to have to go probably maybe a dark red or cherry red. Will look great. Maybe a two-tone, maybe white and red. Not really sure yet. BrianModels.com says, primer has 3 purposes. To provide a foundation for all other paint coats, reveals the flaws in the surface, and gives a surface an equal coverage. Like we get back to the Dodge Daytona here. The shell of the body is the most important part of the car, and there has to be some prep that needs to be done for this car. Like we said, the sandpaper, high grit, very fine. This one's a 320. This one's already been sanded down, ready for paint. Like I said, maybe a dark blue, flat blue. I'm not really sure yet. But deciding the color will determine the outcome of how this car is going to look out in the end. Excuse me. Your finished product. When you get to know what your finished product, don't forget to save those extra parts. Because what I do with some of my cars, after I put them all together and they'll sit on the shelf for a while, maybe sometimes I want to take them apart, change them up, do some other stuff to them. That's why you got to keep those extra parts. Decide how you want to display these cars. Like ones to my side here, I usually just put them on a shelf for everyone to see. But if you get special good ones, sometimes those may want to go in a little case, a glass case possibly. So here's one of my finished products. This one is a 47 Mercury. Pretty good detail. Underneath the hood. This is a root beer color. This is probably one of my favorites. This one came out great. The root beer color with the, can't really tell, but trust me on this one, sparkle paint job. Really like this one. Probably one of my favorites. So today we've talked about the tools for the build, what's most important for a good prep, the paint you're going to decide, how you want to display this model. So I'd like to thank everyone for listening, and I hope that everyone has a better understanding of model cars, the time and patience that goes into building these cars. Thank you very much, everyone.